Hello students, myself Dr. Muhammad Ahmad. I welcome all of you to the new session of Bridge Course for Engineering Mathematics. Students, in previous two sessions, we have seen what is the meaning of matrix and how to add any two matrices and how to multiply any two matrices. Right, students, these topics are very trivial, but we have covered these topics here in the Bridge Course for Engineering Mathematics because in Engineering Mathematics 2, you are having a separate unit for matrices, and in that unit we are going to cover advanced topics like a system of linear equations, Cayley-Hamilton theorem, quadratic form, reduction of quadratic form to canonical form. So these all topics are there in unit 1 of mathematics 2. So because you are not supposed to face any kind of difficulty in that, so that's why we have covered basic concepts of matrices in the previous two lectures. Okay students, continuing the same thing, here we are going to discuss about the vectors. In the current session we are going to discuss about vectors. So in today's lecture, the topics that we are going to cover are: first we'll see what is the meaning of vector, right? With a few examples we'll try to understand what is the meaning of vector and the difference between vector and a scalar. Then we will see if two vectors are given, then how to add them. That is called sum of vectors or addition of vectors. That we will see. And next, how to multiply a scalar with a vector. That also we will see in today's class. Then at the end we will see dot product of two vectors. Okay students, let us begin today's class. Okay students, let us put today's title, that is vectors. Right? First we'll understand what is the meaning of vector. That is, we'll see the definition of vector. So first we'll see the definition of vector. So in intermediate you have seen what is the meaning of vector. So let us recall the definition. It is defined to be a line segment. It is defined to be a line segment which has both magnitude as well as direction. That is, a line segment with specified magnitude. With specified magnitude and direction. This is the formal definition of a vector, right? What is the meaning of this? You consider a line segment, right? Consider A be the initial point of this and B is the final point, and suppose that this line can be extended, right? And then this line can be given a direction. Let this be the direction. You can observe here that this line has a length, that is, length is called as a magnitude of this vector, and it has a direction, that is upward direction. So this type of things are called as a vector, right? Other than this, we can even define vectors are, like, it is a physical quantity. It is a physical quantity that has both magnitude and a direction, right? How it is defined? It is a physical quantity that has both magnitude and direction, and the physical quantities that has only magnitude but not direction, such quantities are called as scalar quantities, right? Examples here are, like, you consider a velocity, right? You can say that a vehicle is traveling, with so and so speed in some direction, right? So velocity is a vector quantity because it has both magnitude as well as direction. Whereas if you consider height, then height has only magnitude but no direction. Height of a person you consider, suppose I can say that my height is 5 feet 9 inches. That's it. I cannot say that my height is 5 feet 9 inches in upward direction or 5 feet 9 inches in downwards direction. I cannot give direction to height. So that's why height is a scalar quantity. Similarly, if I consider weight, weight is also has only magnitude but no direction. That is why height and weight, this type of quantities are called as scalar quantities, because I cannot say that my weight is 64 kgs in downwards direction or 64 kgs in upwards direction. I cannot say like that. So that's why this type of quantities are called as scalar quantities, whereas the velocity is called as vector quantity. So how can we define a vector? Vector is nothing but in mathematics, vector is nothing but a line segment which has both magnitude as well as directions, right? Then here how do we denote this vector? This is denoted by AB bar, or we can with small letters also we can denote, that is A bar. So here A bar is a vector, right? In physically, if we see, vector is nothing but a physical quantity that has both magnitude as well as direction. So velocity is one of the examples. Velocity has both magnitude as well as direction, whereas the scalar quantities examples are like height and weight. Okay, next we will see what is the meaning of position vector. Right, next topic is position vector. So how do we define this position vector? Suppose I am having a xyz coordinates, x coordinate, y, and this is z. Let there is a point in xyz coordinates. There is a point in xyz coordinates. This point is given by p of x comma y comma z, right? Okay, so what we are having xyz coordinate system and a point in this coordinate system which is given by p of x comma y comma z. Then let this be origin. Then here the vector OP is called as position vector. That is, position vector is nothing but, so position vector is nothing but here OP bar. Generally position vectors are denoted by small r bar, right? This is defined to be the position vector. Then how do we define the magnitude of position vector? Magnitude of OP bar, or this is equal to, how do we find magnitude? Notation for magnitude is mod r bar, which is defined to be square root of x square, x coordinate square, y coordinate square plus z coordinate square. So this is how we find the magnitude of position vector, right? Next we will see what is the meaning of unit vector. Next topic is unit vector. Now we are building the blocks on which we will see few problems. So first we have seen what is the meaning of vector, how the vector is defined. Then next we have seen position vector. Position vector is nothing but, if we consider the xyz coordinates and a point in that coordinate system, then from origin to that point whatever the line is connecting, that is called as position vector of the point P, and generally position vectors are denoted by small r bar. Then the magnitude of this position vector is given by square root of x square plus y square plus z square. Next we are seeing unit vector. How do we define unit vector? It is a vector whose magnitude is 1. How do we define a vector whose magnitude is unity, or unity is nothing but 1 only, unity or 1 is called a unit vector. This is the formal definition of unit vector. Unit vector is nothing but whose magnitude is 1. Examples, we can consider few examples, right? If I write the vector as 0 into I bar plus 0 into j bar plus 1 into k bar, then if we try to evaluate the magnitude of this, then how do we evaluate the magnitude of this vector? X square means x coordinate square, that is 0 square plus 0 square plus 1 square, which is nothing but 1 only. So the magnitude of this vector, magnitude of the vector 0i plus 0j plus 1k is nothing but 1. So such vector is called as unit vector. This is the first example that we have seen. We can consider one more example in which I'll make j coordinate, that is y coordinate, as 1. I'll make this y coordinate as 1, that is plus 1 into j bar plus 0 into k bar, right? If I find the magnitude of this is given by 0 plus 1 square plus 0, which is nothing but 1, right? So how do we define the unit vector? It is nothing but a vector whose magnitude is 1, right? We'll see the next topic, that is how to add two vectors, which is sum or addition of vectors. So next topic is sum of vectors. So these vectors can be added in two different ways. The first way is triangle law of vector addition. Second one is parallelogram law of vector addition. So first one is triangle law of vector addition, right? So how two vectors are added under this law, that we will see now, right? Suppose consider a person is traveling from point A to point B in this direction, right? This is denoted by the vector A bar, right? We can denote the vectors by AB bar or A bar. Then from point B, suppose that person is traveled to, from point B, suppose that person is traveled to some another point C in this direction, right? First A to B, then B to C, and B to C is denoted by the vector B to C is denoted by B bar. Then the displacement the person has traveled is given by, if you connect from A to C, if you connect from A to C in this direction, then this is called as the displacement the person has traveled. So what is happening when a person is traveling from the point A to B and B to C, then the displacement, total displacement is given by the vector A to C, that is C bar. Means here what we can say, the vector AB bar plus the vector BC bar is nothing but the vector AC bar, or how can we write this? A bar plus B bar is nothing but C bar, right? This is called as triangle law of vector addition. So based on this, we can even define a parallelogram law of vector addition, that we'll see now. Now we'll see the second law of vector addition, that is parallelogram law of vector addition. So in triangle law of vector addition, we have seen that if a person is traveling from the point A to B and then point B to C, then the resultant, the total displacement will be given by the vector AC, right? That we have seen in a triangle law of vector addition. Now we are seeing the parallelogram law of vector addition. So quite opposite to that, let us consider the point, one point, let us consider this point is given by O. Let this vector is OA, right? It is denoted by small a bar, and we are having one more vector which is given by OB or small b bar. Then what will be, when we add this OA and OB, what will be the resultant? That we are going to see now. What will be the resultant of OA plus OB or small a bar plus small b bar? That we are going to see, right? According to triangle law, what we are going to do is we will extend this. Consider a point here which is given by C, then you try to make this as a parallelogram, right? Now you consider like one more line, you consider like this. then according to the triangle law, you apply the triangle law on this triangle O, A and C. On the triangle O, A, C, you apply the triangle law. Then what will happen? OA from triangle law, OA plus AC. The vector OA plus AC is nothing but the vector OC, right? So what is there? The vector OA plus AC is nothing but the vector OC. This I am writing from the triangle law. Then you can observe here that AC is nothing but OB. So since AC is equal to OB, right? This AC is equal to OB. Then what will happen? Then this implies from this OA bar plus AC can be replaced with the vector AC can be replaced with OB bar, which is nothing but OC bar. So what is happening now? When you add the vectors, OA and the vector OB, then what you are getting? You are getting the vector OC, right? So addition of if OA is one side of the parallelogram and OB is another side of the parallelogram, then when you add these two vectors, then the resultant will be the diagonal. Resultant is nothing but the diagonal. So what we are getting? A plus B bar is nothing but the vector OC. So this is how the vectors are added, which is nothing but A bar plus B bar equal to C bar. So this is how the vectors are added under this parallelogram law of vector addition. Now we are going to see how to multiply a vector with a scalar, that is called as scalar multiplication. So next side heading is scalar multiplication of a vector, right? So till now what are the topics that we have covered are: first we have seen the definition of vector, how it is defined, then we have seen position vector, then we have seen unit vector and addition of vectors. First we have seen addition of vector in triangle law, then we have seen addition of vector in parallelogram law. Now we are trying to multiply the vector with a scalar. So let us consider, let lambda is a scalar, and A bar is a vector. Then scalar multiplication of vector with lambda, that is scalar. How do we write? How do we denote that? Which is nothing but lambda into A bar. So this product is called as scalar multiplication of vector with scalar. Scalar multiplication of vector with scalar. Then so A bar will be having some direction and magnitude. Then what will be the direction of lambda A bar? Lambda A bar, direction of lambda A bar will be same as A bar if lambda is positive. If lambda is positive, then the direction of lambda A bar will be same as the direction of A bar, and the direction will be opposite. The direction of lambda A bar will be opposite to A bar if lambda is negative. So what is happening now? The resultant, when you multiply a vector with a scalar, when you multiply the vector A bar with a scalar lambda, then what is happening? Lambda A bar will be the resultant. Then the direction of this lambda A bar will be same as A bar if lambda is positive, and it is opposite of A bar when lambda is negative. Then what will be the magnitude? What will be the magnitude of lambda A bar? Right? Lambda A bar magnitude can be defined as the magnitude of lambda into magnitude of A bar. That is what is happening. Whatever the magnitude the vector A bar is having, whatever the magnitude the vector A bar is having, that will be multiplied with lambda times, right? The magnitude of lambda A bar is nothing but lambda times of the magnitude of A bar. This is how the scalar multiplication is done. Now we will see few problems. So we will see few problems in vectors. So consider the first problem. what is given? Find a unit vector in the direction of vector. One vector is given, a bar equals to 2i plus 3j plus k bar, right? What is the question now? The question is find a unit vector in the direction of vector a bar equals to 2i plus 3j plus k. So this is what the question. How to solve this? Solution of this is given by, so how do we find? So this vector will be having, this vector a bar equals to 2i plus 3j plus k will be having some magnitude, right? So we have to find, the direction should be same. We have to find another vector whose direction should be same as a bar, but the magnitude should be 1. So what we have to do? For the vector a bar, let us divide the vector a bar with its magnitude. Then the magnitude of a bar will become 1 and the direction will remain same. So the unit vector, so unit vector in the direction of a bar is nothing but, how do we get? Divide the vector a bar with its magnitude. Divide the vector a bar with its magnitude, right? The general notation of unit vector is given by a cap, right? This is the general notation of unit vector a cap. So what we have to do? We have to divide the given vector a bar with its magnitude. So first let us compute the magnitude. So now compute the magnitude of a bar is given by, how do we evaluate the magnitude? Square root of 2 square plus 3 square plus 1 square, right? Which is nothing but, when you simplify, square root of 2 to the 4 plus 3 3 is 9 plus 1, which is nothing but square root of 14, right? Therefore unit vector is given by, therefore unit vector equal to a cap. Unit vector a cap equal to, what we have to do? A bar by mod a bar, which is nothing but 1 by root 14. Magnitude of a bar is given by root 14. So that's why 1 by root 14 into 2i plus 3j plus k. So multiply. What will happen when we multiply? We will get 2 by root 14 into I bar plus 3 by root 14 into j bar plus 1 by root 14 into k bar, right? This is how we evaluate a unit vector in the direction of a given vector. So given vector is here, a bar equals to 2i plus 3j plus 4k, right? That is the given vector. What is the question? We have to evaluate a unit vector in the direction of a bar. So what we have to do? We are not supposed to change the direction of a bar. A bar will be having whatever the direction a bar is having, that will be as it is. Only we have to change its magnitude. We have to make the magnitude as 1. So it will be having some magnitude. To make that magnitude as 1, what we have to do? We have to divide with its magnitude. Then the magnitude will become 1. So that is what we have done in the solution, right? We will see one more problem in which what we are supposed to do. The next problem is second problem. So second problem is find a vector in the direction of a vector. Some vector is given, a bar equals to I bar minus 2j bar. This is the given vector that has magnitude 7. That has magnitude 7 units, right? So what is the question? Find a vector in the direction of a given vector. What is the vector given? A bar equals to I bar minus 2j bar that has magnitude 7. So we are not supposed to change the direction of the given vector direction will be as it is, but only the thing is we have to find a vector in the direction of a bar whose magnitude will be 7, right? So first we will convert the given vector to a unit vector, then multiply that unit vector with 7, that is scalar multiplication. Then what will happen? We will get a resultant vector whose magnitude will be 7 times, right? So how to do that? The unit vector in the direction of a bar. First we will find the unit vector in the direction of a bar. So for finding the unit vector, what we have to do? A cap equals to a bar by mod a bar, that is we have to divide the vector with its magnitude. So a bar is given by I bar minus 2j bar. How to evaluate mod a bar? Just now we have seen square root of x square plus y square plus z square, right? Here square root of x square is nothing but 1 square plus y square is nothing but minus 2 square plus z square. Z is not there here. So what will happen? When you simplify the square root, you will get 1 by root 5. Here 1 will be there, here 1 will be there. So 1 by root 5 I bar minus 2 by root 5 into j bar, right? So this is the unit vector in the direction of given vector a bar. Now we have to find a vector in the direction of a bar with the magnitude as 7. So whatever the unit vector we are getting, that vector will be multiplied with 7 to get a new vector whose magnitude is 7, right? Therefore vector in the direction of a bar and has magnitude 7 is what it will be? It will be 7 into the unit vector a cap, which is nothing but 7 by a cap is given by, how do we get a cap? A cap is nothing but 7 into 1 by root 5 into I bar minus 2 by root 5 into j bar. Multiply this. So 7 by root 5 into I bar minus 14 by root 5 into j bar. So this is the required vector whose direction is same as a bar and magnitude is 7 units, right? So what we have to do? First we have to reduce the given vector to a unit vector, then we have to multiply that unit vector with the magnitude, whatever the magnitude we want. Here the given magnitude is 7, so that's why we are multiplying the unit vector with 7, right? This is how we solve this problem. Next we will see one more problem. So next problem is third one. Find the unit vector. Question is find the unit vector in the direction of sum of a bar equals to 2i plus 2j minus 5k, first vector, and the second vector is b bar equals to 2i plus j plus 3k. So these two vectors are given and we are asked to find the unit vector in the direction of sum of a bar and b bar. So first we will find the sum of a bar and b bar, that is a bar plus b bar. First we will evaluate this. A bar is given to be 2i plus 2j minus 5k, right? This is a bar, plus b bar is given by 2i bar plus j bar plus 3k bar. So how to add? Corresponding coordinate should be added, that is x coordinate should be added with x, y coordinate should be added with y, z coordinate should be added with z. So what we will get? 4i bar plus 3j bar minus 5 plus 3 is nothing but minus 2k bar. This is a plus b bar. Now what we have to do? We have to find a unit vector in the direction of a bar plus b bar. So unit vector, how to evaluate unit vector? We have to divide the vector with its magnitude. Then we will get the unit vector in the direction of a bar plus b bar. So first we have to evaluate the magnitude of a bar plus b bar. How to evaluate the magnitude? Square root of 4 square plus 3 square plus minus 2 whole square, which is nothing but square root of 4 4 is 16 plus 9 plus 4, which is nothing but square root of 29. So this is the magnitude of the sum a bar plus b bar. Therefore unit vector is given by, therefore unit vector is equal to, how do we get? Divide the sum of vectors with its magnitude, that is a bar plus b bar. So what we will get? Already a bar plus b bar is, so first we will write 1 by mod a bar plus b bar, that is magnitude of a bar and b bar is given by square root of 29 and multiplied with 4i plus 3j minus 2k, right? So multiply, what we will get? 4 by square root of 29 into I bar plus 3 by square root of 29 into j bar minus 2 by square root of 29 into k bar, right? This is how we evaluate the unit vector in the direction of sum of given two vectors. So two vectors are given. What we did? First we have added those two vectors. Then we got 4i plus 3j minus 2k. We got 4i plus 3j minus 2k. Then we need, because we need a unit vector in the direction of this a bar plus b bar. So that's why we have to evaluate the magnitude of a bar plus b bar. So mod a bar plus b bar, that we got to be root 29. Then what we have to do? We have to divide the vector a bar plus b bar with its magnitude. Then we got 4 by square root of 29 I bar plus 3 by square root of 29 j bar minus 2 by square root of 29 k bar. This is how we solve problems related to vector addition and scalar multiplication. Now we are going to see how two vectors can be multiplied. So there are two ways of multiplication of vectors. One is dot product, another one is cross product. But here in we are learning this vectors especially because in mathematics 1 the last unit is vector calculus, where we will be performing the advanced concept of calculus on vectors. That is, we will find the derivative of vectors, also we will find the integration of vectors, and many more things we will define on vectors, that is gradient, divergence, curl, all these things we will define on vectors. That is there in 5th unit of mathematics 1. So for that we need a little bit of basic knowledge of vectors. So that is why we are covering this topic vectors in the bridge course for engineering mathematics. So very trivial things we are seeing here to just brush up the knowledge that you have in your that you learn in your intermediate. So what are the things that we are covering here are very basic, like how vector can be defined, what is the difference between vector and a scalar, that we have seen. Then next, what is the meaning of position vector, that we have seen, and what is the meaning of unit vector, that is also we have seen. Then we have seen how to add any two vectors and how to multiply a vector with a scalar. So these are the things that we have covered till now. The next topic that we are going to cover is how two vectors can be multiplied. There are two ways of multiplication of vectors. First way is dot product, right? That is also called as scalar product. Another way is cross product. Cross product is not there. It is not used in unit 5 of mathematics 1. So that's why we are not covering the cross product in this bridge course. Only we are covering the dot product, that is called scalar product or dot product of vectors, that we will see now. So how do we define this scalar product or dot product, right? This is the side heading. So how do we define this? Suppose we are having two vectors, let small a bar and small b bar are two vectors, right? Then How do we denote the dot product? The dot product of A bar and B bar is denoted by, the notation for dot product is A bar dot B bar. This is the notation of dot product, right? Then how do we define this? It is defined as, A bar dot B bar is nothing but the value of this will be 0, right? If one of A bar comma B bar is 0, right? If at least one of A bar or B bar is 0, then the dot product of A bar and B bar is 0, right? If one vector is 0, then the dot product will be 0. Otherwise, if it is not 0 and theta is the angle between those two vectors A bar and B bar, then how it is defined? Mod A bar into mod B bar into cos theta, right? If when A bar is not equal to 0 and B bar is not equal to 0 and theta is angle between A bar and B bar, right? This is how the dot product is defined. How are we defining the dot product? If any of the vector is 0, then the dot product A bar dot B bar is 0, right? If any of the vector is 0. Otherwise, the dot product is defined as mod A bar mod B bar into cos theta, where when both A and B should not be 0, and theta is the angle between A bar and B bar, right? Then A bar dot B bar is defined to be mod A bar mod B bar into cos theta, right? Then now we will consider I, j, k. What will be the dot product of these unit vectors, right? Since we know that I bar is a position vector along x-axis, j bar is along y-axis. These are unit vectors along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So we will see. So we will consider this under a note. Since I, j, k are mutually perpendicular, means they are perpendicular to each other, mutually perpendicular. Then what will happen then? Consider I bar dot I bar. Then what will happen according to the definition? Just now we have defined the definition. So I bar dot I bar will be mod I bar into cos theta, angle between them. So how are we defining? Mod I bar into cos theta, where theta is the angle between I bar and I bar. I bar is a vector along x-axis, and another vector is again I bar. So if we are considering the same vector two times, then what will be the angle between them? Angle between them will be 0, right? This is equal to, and these vectors are unit vectors. So magnitude of these vectors will be 1. So 1, so mod I bar is 1, another mod I bar is 1 into cos theta, because the angle between I bar and I bar is 0. So it is cos 0, which is nothing. Cos 0 value is 1. So the total is 1. So I bar dot I bar, when we are finding, we are getting 1. So similarly, what will happen if we find j bar dot j bar? We will get 1 only. Again, if we find k bar dot k bar, then we will get 1 only, right? So I bar dot I bar, if we find, we will get 1 only. J bar dot j bar and k bar dot k bar also 1. So this we are seeing because the definition, from the definition given for dot product, from that only we are finding the values of I bar dot I bar, j bar dot j bar, k bar dot k bar. So instead of this, let us consider I bar dot j bar. Now we will consider I bar dot j bar. Then what will happen? I bar dot j bar is nothing but mod I bar into mod j bar into cos theta, where cos theta is the angle between I bar and j bar. We know that mod I bar, because I bar is a unit vector, so mod I bar will be 1 into mod j bar. Again, j bar is a unit vector, so mod j bar is also 1.
cos theta, and because these vectors are mutually perpendicular, the meaning is the angle between I bar and j bar will be 90 degrees, that is pi by 2. So cos pi by 2, which is nothing but 1 into 1 into cos pi by 2. Cos 90 value is 0. So therefore we are getting I bar dot j bar as 0. Similarly, if we find Similarly, j bar dot k bar, if we find, we'll get 0, and if we find k bar dot I bar also, we'll get 0, because the angle between them will be pi by 2. Because of that, we are getting the value to be 0, right? Next, we'll see one more note. So in that, we will see how the vectors can be multiplied if they are given in the form, if a bar equals to a1i plus a2j plus a3k, and the vector b bar equals to b1i plus b2j plus b3k, right? Then, so how do we define the dot product? A bar dot b bar, which is nothing but a1i plus a2j plus a3k, dot product of this with b1i plus b2j plus b3k. Now we know that I bar dot I bar is 1. So that's why a1 into b1, and multiply a1 I bar with other terms. What will happen? I bar dot j bar, that will become 0. Similarly, I bar dot k bar, that will become 0. Next, a2 j bar into a2 j bar dot b1 I bar. What will happen? J bar dot I bar will become 0. Then next, a2 j bar dot b2 j bar. So what will happen? J bar dot j bar will become 1. Then remaining is a2 b2. So why j bar dot j bar is becoming 1? Just now we have seen that I bar dot I bar will be 1, j bar dot j bar will be 1, and k bar dot k bar will be 1. Remaining all other dot products will be 0. So similarly, what will happen for third one? We will get a3 b3, right? This can be considered as first point. So a bar dot b bar is nothing but a1 b1 plus a2 b2 plus a3 b3, where a1, a2, a3 are the components along I bar, j bar, k bar or x, y, z axes for vector a bar. Similarly, b1, b2, b3 is nothing but the components of vector b bar, right? Then next, second point is, we already know that how do we get cos theta. So cos theta, that is, if theta is, we know, if theta is angle between a bar and b bar, then cos theta is given by a bar dot b bar by mod a bar into mod b bar, which is nothing but, so how do we get formula? It will become a formula a1 b1 plus a2 b2 plus a3 b3. This is divided by square root of a1 square plus a2 square plus a3 square and b1 square plus b2 square plus b3 square, right? If theta is the angle between the vectors a bar and b bar, then cos theta is nothing but a1 b1 plus a2 b2 plus a3 b3 by square root of a1 square plus a2 square plus a3 square into square root of b1 square plus b2 square plus b3 square, right? So these are the formulae for finding angle between the vectors a bar and b bar. Now we will see two problems on this. Whatever the formulae just now we have derived, on this formulae we will see few problems. So next, problems. Right? So first problem is, if a bar equals to, one vector is given 6 I bar plus 2 j bar plus 3 k bar, and one more vector is given b bar equals to 2 I bar minus 9 j bar plus 6 k bar, right? Then find then find a bar dot b bar and angle between a bar and b bar. So what is the question? Here two vectors are given, a bar and b bar. We are supposed to find a bar dot b bar and angle between a bar and b bar. So solution. So first we will compute a bar dot b bar. What is a bar? A bar is 6i bar plus 2j bar plus 3k bar. Right, this is a bar dot b bar. B bar is given by 2i bar minus 9j bar plus 6k bar. Now we know how to find the dot product. Just we have to multiply the I coordinates, j coordinates and k coordinates, then add. So 6 to the 12, 12 minus 2 9s or 9 2s are 18 plus 6 3s are 18. Then what will happen? Only 12. So a bar dot b bar is 12, and if theta is the angle between a bar and b bar, then we know how to find the angle, that is we know the formula, that is cos theta equals to, the formula is cos theta equals to a bar dot b bar by a bar dot, this is the formula required for finding angle between the given two vectors. Cos theta equals to a bar dot b bar by mod a bar into mod b bar. We have to use that formula. Already we have computed a bar dot b bar. Now we will compute mod a bar and mod b bar. Mod a bar is nothing but square root of 6 square plus 2 square plus 3 square, which is nothing but simplifies 36 plus 4 plus 9. Simplify this, what we will get? Square root of 49, which is nothing but 7. Right? Similarly, we will find what is mod b bar. So mod b bar is given by square root of 2 square plus minus 9 whole square plus 6 square. So simplify this, what we will get? Square root of 4 plus 81 plus 36. Right? So simplify this, square root of 121. It is nothing but 11. So we got a bar dot b bar, and also we got mod a bar, we got mod b bar. Now let, if theta is angle between a bar and b bar, if theta is the angle between a bar and b bar, then according to the formula, what it is? Cos theta equals to a bar dot b bar by mod a bar into mod b bar. So what will happen? A bar dot b bar already we have computed, which is given by 12. Here we are having a bar dot b bar as 12 divided by mod a bar. Mod a bar is 7 into mod b bar is 11. So multiply these two. What will happen? 12 by 11 into 7 is nothing but 77. Or further we can, so cos theta equals to, we got 12 by 77. We need theta. So theta is nothing but, you send the cos this side, then what will happen? Cos inverse of 12 by 77. Right? This is the required angle between the given two vectors a bar and b bar. What we have to do? What is given? First understand the question. A bar is given, b bar is given, two vectors are given. We are asked to find a bar dot b bar, as well as we have to find the angle between a bar and b bar. So first we have computed a bar dot b bar. It is very trivial, we got it to be 12. Then mod a bar we got it to be 7, and mod b bar we got it to be 11. Then we will consider that theta is the angle between a bar and b bar. Then according to the formula, cos theta will be given by a bar dot b bar by mod a bar into mod b bar. So substitute the values and simplify. We got the angle to be theta equals to cos inverse of 12 by 77. So this is how we solve the problem. So we will see one more problem. We will see one more problem, the second problem. So second problem is, if a bar equals to I bar plus 2j bar minus 3k bar and b bar equals to 3i bar minus j bar plus 2k bar, then show that a bar plus b bar and a bar minus b bar are perpendicular to each other. So what is the question? Two vectors are given, a bar equals to I bar plus 2j bar minus 3k bar, and another vector b bar equals to 3i bar minus j bar plus 2k bar. Two vectors are given. Then we have to show that a bar plus b bar and a bar minus b bar are perpendicular. So first we have to compute a bar plus b bar. Also we have to compute a bar minus b bar. Then we have to show that the angle between these two are 90 degrees. Right? Solution. Right? What will happen? First we will find a bar plus b bar. So a bar is nothing but I bar plus 2j bar minus 3k bar, plus b bar is nothing but 3i bar minus j bar plus 2k bar. So simple, 3 minus 2 minus 1. So what will happen? First is 3, then 2 minus 1, 3i bar, 2 minus 1. So minus j bar minus 3 plus 2 is nothing but minus k bar. Minus k bar. Similarly, a bar minus b bar is given by, here what will happen? 3i plus 1i is nothing but 4i bar plus 2j minus j is nothing but j bar minus 3 plus 2 is nothing but minus k bar. Similarly, a bar minus b bar is given by I bar plus 2j bar minus 3k bar minus b bar. B bar is nothing but 3i bar minus j bar plus 2k bar. So simplify this. What will happen? I bar minus 3i bar is nothing but minus 2i bar plus 2j bar minus. So plus 3j bar minus 3 minus 2 is nothing but minus 5k bar. Right? We got a bar plus b bar. Also we got a bar minus b bar. Then already we know that the formula for angle, that is cos theta, is given by, if two vectors are there, that is a bar dot b bar by mod a bar into mod b bar. This is the formula, right? Now suppose that a bar and b bar are, these two vectors a bar and b bar are perpendicular to each other. Then what will be the angle between them? Angle will be cos theta, theta will be pi by 2. Then a bar dot b bar by mod a bar into mod b bar. Then what will happen? Cos pi by 2 value. We know that cos pi by 2 value is, cos 90 value is 0. So that's why what will happen? This cos pi by 2 will become 0. This whole term will become 0. Then this will be multiplied with this 0. Then what will remain? Last thing remain is a bar dot b bar equals to 0. Right? So when a bar and b bar are perpendicular, then what is the condition for that? A bar dot b bar will be 0. So here what we have to show in this question, we have to show that a bar plus b bar and a bar minus b bar are perpendicular. Then we will find the dot product of these two. If we get the dot product of these two as 0, then we can say that they are perpendicular. So let us find a bar plus b bar dot a bar minus b bar. So this is equal to, what is a bar plus b bar is given by 4i bar plus j bar minus k bar, right? Dot a bar minus b bar is given by minus 2i bar plus 3j bar minus 5k bar. Now simplify this. What will happen? 4 into minus 2. 4 into minus 2 is minus 8. Then 1 into 3 is plus 3. Then minus 1 into minus 5 is nothing but plus 5. So 5, 3, 8 minus 8 is nothing but 0. So what is happening? A bar plus b bar dot a bar minus b bar we are getting to be 0. So that's why these vectors are a bar plus b bar and a bar minus b bar are perpendicular. This is what we have proved. So with this we will end today's class. And students, so in this bridge course nearly I have taken 13 lectures. So I have covered various topics starting from the introduction to real numbers, then functions, then differentiation, then integration and matrices, then definite integral also we have covered, matrices we have covered. Then today's last topic that we have covered is vectors. In vectors we have seen vector addition and vector multiplication. So students, we will end these sessions for bridge course now, and from the next class onwards we will start our regular coursework. And in that regular coursework, first I will give you a overview of syllabus. So that the first lecture will be dedicated for overview of engineering, overview of semesters, overview of syllabus, what will be the question paper pattern, and all these things will be covered in the introductory lecture of regular coursework. So here we are stopping our bridge course for engineering mathematics, and we are going towards the regular coursework. Okay students, see you in the next class.